Welcome to Tran Wins, Symphony of War. Sorrow weighs down upon Tran with the sting of betrayal, but he cannot hold on to wrath for Lysander and those who followed him in a coup against the Nephilim. Indeed, the disturbance of the divine weapons tinged with the blood of Zanatus has awoken the sleeping god, shattering the barrier between worlds. Driven by a burning desire to end the cycle of evil, Tran, now reunited with Zelos, is determined to destroy Zanatus himself and finally put an end to a millennium-long struggle. The Nephilim are, for the first time in 1,000 years, reunited and their potentials unlocked. Now, the war between human and demon will begin anew. Xanatus' influence has permeated the human world, strangled it, shaped it to the desires of those who would exploit it for their own gain. The Dark God himself has yet to be truly defeated or foiled. As the Nephilim begin to realize they are entering hell itself on their own will, they fight to battle their own fear. But it is too late to turn back now. Tran takes one last look at his own world, his own home, accepting that he may never return. We have a couple new supports. This is the last chapter in the game. We're going to first start with Diana and Zelos, Demons of Darkened Light.
Honored to finally speak to you in the flesh, Paladin. Shame that it has taken this long. I know it doesn't matter anymore, but one of my biggest regrets is not wising up to Xanatus earlier. I'd have slit Casimir's throat in a heartbeat and put a quick stop to all the child kidnapping nonsense. I'd have preferred to kill you in combat, not destroy your soul by kidnapping your son.
Why did you destroy the temple?
All I did was expedite the inevitable. The temple was just another part of an old paradigm, one on life support because of people like you.
A man like you led down this path of bloodshed. Unfortunate.
This coming from Diana, the goddess of war, they call you. This mighty paladin whose name inspires terror, and whose lifetime of crusade has spilt blood that would turn the seas red. I heard how you killed Casimir. Is this how you and your order have always operated? If so, perhaps you're more honest than I give credit, or more warped by what you've become.
You don't know what I've become.
I see it in your eyes. You and I are nothing more than killing machines. We've lost everything else to become what we are. Is all this power worth it? Do those you fight for deserve your sacrifice? But having pursued my convictions as I see fit and not giving myself to a band of ingrates who will never be able to pay me back their due, my mind is still clear. Soon, we will use our power to kill Xanatus, and if there is justice in this world, everyone will then learn what they've taken from you.
Tran and Beatrix, is this the real you? Beatrix, I gotta say, you're different. No more talk of ruling existence and building mile-high statues of yourself.
I suppose the idea became boring. I have moved on to more immediate pursuits.
Mind if I ask? Pendergast seemed a bit old to be your father.
Well, flattery will get you everywhere. You must know, the old man adopted me. I always did have everything money could buy, save for true love and affection, of course. I've known for some time he simply wanted my divine gift. He would be pleased if I were to kill you now and seek ultimate power for myself. But I can't let him have his way, Guess we found our answer, darling. No more power-hungry Beatrix, because she doesn't want to be her father.
Makes sense.
Oh, darling, one last thing. Have you thought about how you'll be executing Lysander? May I suggest letting me use him for meteor target practice?
No. I'm still thinking about it. You joke about it, but just give me some time.
Joke?
And finally, if we don't have the main character develop a bond, for whatever reason, our male hero gets the female heroine epilogue. So we're just going to go ahead and create a bond right now. Tran Beatrix. In fact, it's not that bad because it does give you a little bit more, I guess, extra information that the game doesn't normally hand out. But this is fine. Siren or Succubus?
Why, look at this, the Messiah crosses my path once again. You've been doing that a lot lately, young man.
I have?
Oh, yes indeed. And believe me, I am quite flattered.
What do you mean? I mean, I'm certainly impressed by your...
By my what, Surely it is my fantastic magical aptitude, no? Or is it my lust for battle? Or is it both of these?
Yes. And yeah, I mean, no. Beatrix, what are you doing?
You know very well what we're doing. I see you prowling about in the distance, that analytical little mind whizzing away in a whirlwind of thoughts. Who is this unusual dame, and just how to tame her? Is she siren or succubus? The mystery must be tantalizing. Don't worry, just follow my lead on this little dance. You see, Tran, I have proud you just the same. You have grown powerful and famed, and to that I am irresistibly compelled. For it is power that moves me and thrills me. Feel the quiver of its compulsion in my bones, and so too do you, Tran, when you lay eyes on me. Don't you?
You give me little choice, Beatrix.
Do not worry, I can see it in your eyes. But it would do me a world of good to hear you say the words, my good Tran.
Not gonna let this go, are you? Yeah, I can't stop thinking about you, and I can't get my eyes off you. What sane man could? Believe me, I have tried.
Oh, come now. There's no reason to resist. You are in for the ride of your life. I can show you things and experiences you did not imagine possible. Come here, Tran. We'll give you a new sense of purpose that you so desire.
Beatrix Tran have developed a deep bond. Mount Ptolemia. I feel like I saw you just this morning, false one. Bothersome pest. Could I not at least have a moment to collect my thoughts? So, this is what it has come to. No finesse, no intrigue, just a brutish battle to the death. I should come to expect such dull barbarism from humans. Let us see if your hodgepodge of heroes has the mettle of your ancestors. Chapter 30, Armageddon.
Much has changed since last we did battle, Donar. Before the first war, humanity was united in banner and in faith. Now your people are more lost and without purpose. Although this has made you easy to manipulate, it tempts me to put your species out of its misery and render your kind extinct forever.
As of this chapter, we can also disband all of our squads. We can't dismiss the characters, such as Diana and Stefan, but we can disband our squads and start combining them. Actually, let's not use Alphonse yet. All our Pyrocite has been placed into these cannons here. Let's go ahead and deploy the cannons up next. Everyone's gonna get deployed, all the spaces will be used, but we don't need that many melee units up front right now. Our Sentinels have been replaced as wardens of our Warbow department. So the ones who didn't get promoted, such as Akin, Rolf, Tobias, and Noel,
since they didn't get promoted, they were fully capable to become warbos themselves, so that actually helps out their damage. Then we'll deploy the last few. Alright, couple things. These are hazard tiles. So this is the, as far as I know, the only other map, not counting Chapter 18 with the volcano, the only other map that has a hazard tile that hurts you if you don't have Firewalker boots. The boss itself is fairly easy to defeat, but we are going to intentionally not crush him so that we can milk all the dialogue and so that you can see it. That's why I record these videos, because I want you to see all the stuff the game has to offer. To that extent, I'm also going to play this a second time and show you the bad ending, which was patched out. Alright, so let's go ahead and start off. We're going to start by using cannons. Now, Sentinels are fairly resistant to firearms, but now he no longer has the riflemen or priestesses behind him, so that's fine. The enemy squads are randomized as well. I believe there's, say, several different types of squads, and it just picks any one of them. Not that each squad itself has random units in it. Deleted. I've never played World of Warcraft. I never did like the whole subscription-based model stuff. Back when I was learning to play games, there was no such thing as DLC or any of that. So the idea of paying money after you've gotten a game was really weird to me. I would feel stressed. I would feel like I would have to play this game at every waking hour or I'd be losing money. So I never did get into that. The reason I'm talking about this is, this dude here follows similar kinds of raid mechanics. Red tiles will light up and you should just avoid standing on them. That's pretty much what that comes down to.
Where am I needed?
Break their resolve.
Lysander's traitorous troop is right here, covered by several sword fighters.
You make this too easy.
Yeah, and there's a Denari temple down here into Zanatus' underworld, go figure. I'm just gonna assume that we built it in haste.
Ready.
fear.
Kuroda and Zelos join your team as two different squad leaders, but there's no soldiers in their squad, so I just combined their teams together. He will summon troops back here, ranging from 3 to 9. Every successive wave adds 1. You have 31 rounds to defeat him before the bonus objective ends. He just keeps summoning the same number of 9 troops after that. They are randomized soldiers, and a couple turns after they, like maybe 3 to 4 turns after they've spawned, he deletes them. I think he turns them into basically a dark wave that hurts you. Watch out, he's winding up to swipe us with those claws. Don't stand in their path. So basically he just targets somebody, and it is either a vertical or a horizontal line. So in this case, here's a target, here's a target, and here's a target. Which means like this tile here will probably get hit 3 times. Firewalker boots do not negate this damage. Now again, we can toast him. We can kill him now, but we're gonna draw the turns out so that we can see all the dialogue.
For my people, for my homeland.
He does have a counterattack range of 2, but he doesn't really attack on his own as far as I can tell. Now technically he does count as a different unit for every tile, so if we scroll down here down to enemies, every one of these is a different Zanatus tile. However, the game does treat it as one entity, and it doesn't really matter which tile you target. Here's what I mean. Let's say I take this cannon. Yeah, let's take this warbow. Let's say I was to shoot from here. I'm not actually going to commit to this. Let's say I was to shoot from here to this 3rd tile away. Even though that's 3 tiles away, he does have a 2-range counterattack. It will just count it as if I attacked here. So he will still counterattack the warbows. Whoops, not there.
Dinner time.
Balmont Hubris.
The army is ready.
A paladin never surrenders.
My sound broke for a second. Your hero will actually be stronger if you do not level him up until he reaches this 3rd tier. He reaches this 3rd tier in this stage, and this stage alone. I don't really recommend doing that. In fact, I'd recommend doing pretty much the exact opposite of what I'm doing, because it's not fun. You will have more fun if you turn off permadeath, play in captain mode or whatever the medium one is, and do not worry about leveling your guys up. Just play.
It is quite the gambit coming here to the divine realm, the bridge between what you know to be your home, and the endless darkness beyond this fragile barrier. I would admire such boldness if from anyone else.
Damn, nothing can get through that shield. Stop those reinforcements from overwhelming us and avoid those hotspots. He's targeting them with his magic. Alright, so everything in this, any allied unit in these entryways, he always targets the entryways, will be zapped. Here's the thing though, even if his guys are walking on the hazard tiles or standing in here, it does not hurt him at all.
Ready for the barbecue.
Let's get rid of the gunners.
Do you know who I am?
His shield disappears whether or not you kill all the enemies. It disappears at the same time he would vaporize all of his own troops. Cannons don't do more damage if there's fewer people on the field. In fact, they do less damage. They do the same amount of damage regardless of how many people are on the field. Warbows, however, will do more damage if there are fewer people, because all of the random arrows will just target the single people left. You are equipped with Firewalker boots, so this will be fine. There is no map after this, the game immediately ends, so finding items here is worthless. I guess unless you were to deploy somebody. Thing is, you can't deploy anybody in the current version of the game because any defeated squads still count against your deployable limit. I don't like that. In fact, the first take I did of my Chapter 12 battle, I set my guys into 3 waves. This was going to be a glorious fight. My weakest were going to be Wave 1. They went out and fought... What's the dude's name? Not Lysander. The Remorg guy, I don't remember his name. He didn't last very long. And when the cannons showed up, it killed all of my tier 1 guys, but I did some damage. So I sent out my tier 2, not necessarily tier 2 class, just my mid-level guys. So I sent out my mid-ranking guys on the second wave, and it finished off cannons. I didn't even get to send out my best heroes in the third wave. I thought it was going to be a much bigger struggle than that. And so I didn't like how that turned out, so I replayed it and showed you the final product. The reason I say this is I liked being able to do that. I liked being able to deploy squads to replenish the squads that were defeated. So in this version, it doesn't really matter unless I retreat a dude and then redeploy someone else. You're limited by this arbitrary squad limit. That's lame. I'm pretty sure that... Okay, the game's freezing. What's going on now? Are you crashing on me, game? Seriously? It's not like it... Come on. Okay, I don't know what that was about. Let me check my recording real quick.
The battle lies before me.
Alright, so we do have Firewalker boots on these guys. Let's go ahead and fly on in. I believe I put them on the named characters, Lysander, Diana, Beatrix, Zelos, and Tran. That way I can easily tell who has them. Okay, game, come on. It's freaking out a little bit here. Alright, well. See the dude on the left. I'm not really worried about him. Now Zanatus has 4 hands with him, and they each have 5,400 hit points. Every turn he heals 1,000, so if you don't take out a hand, it'll just regenerate to full after a while.
Ready.
Donar be with us. You make this too easy.
Who has I think they all have Obsidian Arquebus, so it doesn't really matter. Just get my guys situated. Oh, I mean, they may still have to fight, so yeah, it's fine.
Battle formations.
They'll get too many Firewalker boots on this side. Let's go ahead and swap Beatrix and Zelos then.
Dinner time.
Since Beatrix might be able to move twice. Put him over on Tran's side, because Tran's still kind of weak. What is your level now? 38.
My homeland.
Spread these guys out a little more. So on this next turn, he would eat all his own dudes. It doesn't heal him though. I think it just does more damage to you when he glows purple. Everyone, we need to destroy those soldiers quickly. He's trying to absorb them and gain more power.
Ready for the barbecue. Repent before the righteous.
What's our next tactic? What? I must stay strong. The battle lies before me.
So now he's doing his Purple Blast, which do almost no damage. In fact, all it does is damage your sanity as a player because it just takes you so long.
The time to act is now.
Where am I needed?
Awaiting your orders.
Whoops, didn't see that one. Well, now you get to see the damage. And it can kill characters. I don't care for getting shot. See, this is his damage. Yeah, you just gotta sit through it. Now, I can't hold down the turbo button, but I tried not to do that during recording. First, I start getting some major frame skips, so it doesn't look as good. And second, I don't want you to miss anything. It only seems to hit maybe 11 people or so.
Do you know how much I pity your kind, Tran? I have watched your supposed greatest minds trying to make sense of your history. I have seen your institutions lie to your great masses, under the guise of maintaining peace and control. Despite this, how little control has your kind ever had. Your fates are predetermined, and history will see me as the great truth teller, the one who saved humanity from its own hubris.
Yes, you have done enormous damage to our kind. It will take many generations to repair. Perhaps it never will happen after so many centuries of spilling our own blood, wasted blood. But now, we know how to recapture our destiny. All we needed was to see and know the enemy, and it is within us. You and your cult have poisoned and manipulated us, but you overestimate your power. When you are dead, more just like you will continue to weave chaos, but our fate will once again be ours to decide. Do you feel that, Zanatus? I know you can. Surely you feel how my heart is at peace. Even if I die today, I fulfilled my purpose. I've awoken my kind to who you are, and I will rest in peace knowing your grip on humanity is broken. Forever. Alright, that's the last dialogue. Now we'll defeat Zanatus as soon as we finish off this army.
I can taste your fear.
A paladin never surrenders.
The reason why I have so many sword fighters here is because I figured they would do lots of damage to Zanatus.
Break their resolve.
You are light infantry. I guess we can afford to use a teleport, it's fine. Actually, can you reach him from here? Yeah, you can, okay.
Do you know who I am?
Who needs more health? Yeah, you could use some health.
Make this too easy.
Let me repay the favor. Remember, those purple tiles are hazard tiles. Alright, let's move you guys out. Move you out. Whoops.
The army is ready.
I think that's everything, right? Yeah. I was just looking to make sure I get everybody out of those red zones. Backing up so we can add charge to our attack. Setting here is probably just inviting him to try to slash those spots, but it's fine. I just want to make sure I know where all my guys are going to be.
Battle formations.
Donar be with us.
Balmung Hubris.
Dinner time.
For my people, for my homeland.
Alright, this is it. Now that being said, I don't actually have to worry about these slashes if I take down his claws. I'm 100% confident we can take him out. I'm not even going to worry about these claws. So first, we're going to begin by hitting him with cannons to do the most damage. I guess I should show you what kind of damage he does do. Let's send Zelos in then.
What?
That's the kind of damage he does. That's the kind of damage I do. All his hands are gone. He will no longer slash at us. So from here, the arrows will just hit the main body itself.
What's our next tactic?
Achievement unlocked. Peace in our time. That's the middle difficulty. You get the harder one later.
Tran, I imagine you foresaw this. In the end, I have served my purpose. And to a far, far greater power I will be of use. And then the races of this little realm will understand the meaning of humility.
And then he disappears in a very gentle, aqua light. Almost angelic, in fact. Achievement unlocked, legendary.
Is he dead? Almost. Stay here. With my power, I will bury this threat forever. Tran?
I'm sorry. I can't let this happen.
Do you think you can stop me?
Yes, but not by crossing blades with you. I felt what's coming for a long time. This is the end of a story that you sought to make true. If you want to take Xanatus' power, you'll have to kill me.
Tran, there is no other path for me. Not in this world. Not in this life.
The people of our country could not and should not tolerate my existence. Then we have something in common. For me, it's only a matter of time.
What?
Our whole lives, in these moments, you've always told me to wait and watch while you handle it. Now, I'm asking you to return the favor. Let me handle this one, Zelos. It's time for us to disappear.
You really have surpassed me, as I'd always predicted. But you know, I'll never forget this. What you asked me to sacrifice.
The way I see it, we'll have plenty of time to get over it, here or in hell.
Right then, do what you came here to do, Tran.
Viridia during the interregnum 2 months later.
Hey, Sybil, and of course the venerated Master Sergeant himself. Welcome to the new and improved monastery. Howdy, good to see you, Stefan.
Stefan, do you think she'll even speak to me?
Can't make any promises. You see, I'm pretty forgiving, I get it. That Lysander's got a silver tongue if there ever was one. Ain't all your fault in my view.
Alright, thank you, Stefan.
You bet. Well, best not to keep her waiting. They're here, love. I mean, Diana.
With no one to carry the typical scripture's legacy, this book's secrets are locked away. Forever. That the corrupt hearts of men will someday exploit our newfound ignorance. Its certitude is troubling, and one wonders what I must now do to protect the future. My apologies. It's good to see you again.
They say you've decided not to take the title of Grand Mistress of the Temple, but why? Who better to serve in this role?
It is not my title to bear. A mind and soul of great caliber and purity will come to fulfill the role. I can only do my best until then. Did you need something of the temple?
Diana, I just wanted to see if now would be a good time to make my induction into the Sisterhood of Justice official. You mentioned back at Embor that we should do this when we get the chance, in front of all the temple. I know I have much to answer for, so perhaps now I've lost the privilege. And well, I was also wondering if Barnabas and I could get married here.
Whoa, hold up a minute. Well, now you got me in a pickle asking all formally like that.
Oh, come on. What are you waiting for? The right time to settle down?
Fair enough.
Ah, you just like to make it formal. To be honest, I'd forgotten all about that. To me, your induction into the Sacred Order was official then and there. But after your decision to follow Lysander, I still want to see you mature a bit. Not to fall so easily to suggestion. You must be your own person. 1 year of satisfactory service to the temple, then you'll reach the first rank within the Sisterhood of Justice. That's the best I can do, and I believe you have what it takes. And in regards to a marriage ceremony, talk to Stefan about that. Though I suggest the groom agree voluntarily first.
Hey, not bad all things considered. What do you say?
Thank you so much. You won't regret this, I swear.
Tran, we go into the unknown. With the Dark God slain, the people of Tahnra again have the power to bring about great change for both good and evil. I do not know what lies ahead for you, but if you need me, I'll be there. A 100 years of undue burden upon our people ends today. May the House of Dargon never be broken again, and may Donar be by your side, my love. Well, brother, are you going to be comfortable as king, or must I usurp the throne myself? I am the official Princess Royal, you know.
You really mean it?
I am jesting, dear brother. Oh, my stars, how dangerously naive. I implore you to depend on your followers, for there will be many who will wish you harm.
I will, dear sister. Tran, we had such a journey together, but our struggle has only just begun. Don't forget about me.
Guess they're keeping this place as a memorial. World's got just about enough of them. No metal gonna bring these boys back. Brave young ones. You're the best among us. Donar bless them, each and every one. Tran, ain't got much left in me, but I reckon you do. Don't waste this. You know how it goes with war. You can fix it.
Over 2 years passed since Tran first saw battle. 2 years that have changed Tahnra forever, but foremost in Tran's heart, forged friendships and bonds that will never be broken. The families of Viridia, once torn apart and deprived of what matters most, are finally reunited. As the sky returns to normal, the Nephilim army arrives back home to find that people are celebrating the end of the war. As signs of the Zanatus cult are removed, so too wanes the age of nobles, as the people look toward an uncertain future.
Over here, prisoner. Letter for you. From a friend of yours. I've been told to bring you whatever you need to finish the task in the letter. You are one lucky prisoner.
Tran. Tahnra owes you greatly, Lysander, for sparing it the rule of another tyrant, the one I could have become. I have one last request of you. Give our country the blueprints to a better world. Very well, Tran. It will be done.
Barnabas Fitch, the former Master Sergeant of the Imperial Army. After decades of being a soldier, he finally retires to his ranch in Melmont Country. Approached many times with offers to join the New Republic, Barnabas rejects, preferring the simple life. Barnabas and Sybil had grown close during the Nephilim War. Within Sybil is a miracle, a son who, with his 2 future brothers, will be Barnabas' greatest joy until the end of his days.
Sybil Byrne, the restless heart. After regaining her stature with the temple, she turns her passions to raising her 3 new sons with Barnabas. Though she would not see battle again, her love for her children made her all the more invested in a future free of the evil tyrants she fought so vigorously to defeat.
Raskuja, the Barak-Tor mercenary. After the death of Zanatus, he quickly returned to his homeland with a king's ransom in reward for his service to the Nephilim army. Because of a great boon he provided his people, Raskuja became a venerated alpha male to bear a small army of offspring. Raskuja lived to a ripe old age and passed away surrounded by an expansive and adoring family.
Adelia Hagen of the Sisterhood of Mercy and Diana's bonded. With Alex back in her custody, Adelia returns to her duties as Diana's support. Her example and conduct have been held up as the exemplary priestess of the Sisterhood of Mercy, which defined the ancient order for many years to come.
Karl Jaromir XIII, Duke of the Duchy of Embor. He had committed his duchy and his life to the Nephilim army from its very inception all the way to the end. As the last major nobleman from a bygone era, Jaromir found himself alone in a new world, one that had looked past the time of lords. The founders of the Republic proposed Jaromir become a proconsul, the highest rank of government under the consul, and to function as a representative for the Embor region. Jaromir, putting his people first, accepted the role and abandoned the idea of noble lineage. This astounding act of humility served the new Republic well, setting the stage for new traditions and institutions that would create a lasting peace.
Antares Bergen, war hero of the Succession War. Having taken his own life, ending his rebellion, Antares gave way for Tran to become the new face of those opposed to tyranny. The proconsul has ordered a monument to General Antares, not only for his service to the Succession War, but also being the spark that lit a fire in the people's hearts.
Beatrix Pendergast, adopted daughter of Edmund Pendergast. With the death of Edmund, Grand Master of the followers of Zanatus, Beatrix had, for a brief moment in her life, aligned with the common goals of others. In the aftermath of the Nephilim War, the Pendergast financial empire was left in shambles, but Beatrix managed to sell the scraps for a respectable sum. She founded a magic university in the city of Sindraka, which would become the main hub of magical hopefuls across the world. Due to the effects of her divine bloodline, Beatrix lives for another 120 years, completely defining the world of academic magics for generations.
Lysander Bradford, former general of the Imperial Army and former chief advisor to the Nephilim army. After the Nephilim War, Lysander served time in prison for his mutiny. Despite this, the Proconsulate approached Lysander with a special invitation to become the primary author of the new Articles of the Republic. Using his rich education in philosophy and history, Lysander put his entire soul into its creation. Making sure to help set up a government that would be just, compassionate, and sustainable, Lysander would be known as one of the founders of the Republic, perhaps his most influential. After earning his freedom, Lysander would eventually rise through the Proconsulate itself and become Viridia's head of state. He never spoke with Tran again.
Abigail Kasim Dargon, priestess of the Sisters of Mercy. Her time with the temple had passed in her heart, and she left the Sisterhood of Mercy to live in Sayuna and became the darling of the new kingdom of Sayuna. During the Nephilim War, she discovered she has an affinity for dragons, and they for her. Abigail committed to the study of draconology further and developed her own personal brood. Though chased by a gang of potential suitors, Abigail has put romance on hold for some time at the protest of many who wish for her to pass on her royal bloodline.
Nerima Reza, warrior queen of Sayuna. Jules fell in love with her, and through a royal marriage, she became Queen Nerima Dargon. She eventually became the true power behind the Sayunari throne as Jules scaled back his role. Nerima's influence and reign solidified Sayuna's status on the world stage as a great power for centuries to come. Jules Kasim Dargon, former officer of the Imperial Army, heir to the Dargon royal dynasty and the new king of Sayuna. King Dargon's dynasty had vanished after Queen Soha's demise at the end of the Ethereum crisis, but Dargon also bore a son, Kasim. Because of the exhaustive work of the Scions of Dargon, they tracked the royal lineage to lie with Jules, and he has become King Jules Qasim Dargon II. This was a role Jules did not expect and for some time did not enjoy. Stopping short of exhausting himself, Jules saw fit to abdicate the responsibility of military and political affairs to Nurema. Liberated from those burdens, Jules turned inward and advocated for the advancement of Sayonari quality of life, and was forever known as Golden-Hearted King Qasim.
Casimir, former Prime Minister and then Emperor of Viridia. The scheming politician made many enemies, leading eventually to his demise. By the time of his death, his empire was in a state of total collapse as the Nephilim army reigned supreme, and even the Zanatus cultists had turned their backs on him. Now, possibly residing in the deepest hell, history sees Casimir as one of its most hated figures.
Diana Ebengard, Archpaladin of the Denari Temple, known forever as the Goddess of War. Though the war and the burden Diana carried throughout took its toll on her psyche, the world has changed for the better, as she may come to see the world she worked tirelessly to defend. She rejected calls for her to take the title of Grand Mistress of the Temple, knowing hers is the path of the warrior. In time, she will again hear the call for her champion to rise and defend the innocent of Tahnra.
Stefan Dunny, former spy for the Denari Temple, enjoys his life with Diana, choosing to serve as a facilitator for the temple's many new challenges. It almost seemed inevitable that these two would fall in love despite their profound personal differences. Stefan leaves behind his former life of whimsy to walk steadfast with Diana for the rest of their days. Zelos, former Imperial Army officer and the man behind the Hand of Zanatus. Having lost his path during the Nephilim War, Zelos committed incredible war crimes, slaughtering dissidents and assisting in the kidnapping of children. But one thing remained, his loyalty to Tran. Unable to watch his best friends of decades fall into a deadly trap, Zelos nearly gave his life to pave the way for the ultimate downfall of Zanatus and an end to the Nephilim War.
Silly Viridians. If they will not properly acknowledge you as their savior, they deserve not the grace and beauty of my presence.
They will be ready in time, but for now my role in Viridia is done. The Nephilim War is over and Zanatus is dead.
Indeed, a well-done demon burned to a crisp by the divine fires of Cyrene.
You don't seem too broken up about losing your adoptive father.
It feels bizarre to even hear those words. That man, that being, took me in for his own designs. No one fiddles with the likes of Beatrix, not even you, Tran.
Duly noted.
Now then, you promised me a new adventure. Care to share the details, or shall I simply annihilate anything that looks in your direction?
Xanathus' dying words still haunt me. I felt no deception in those words. Xanathus' hatred for Donar and for me cannot be described. He felt a certain peace in his final moments, as though he'd finished his job. We have reports that some of the followers of Xanathus went into exile, far to the east, bound for Grothnor of all places.
Grothnor, You know, they say even Donar's light fails to reach its innermost depths. It is home to unspeakable horrors that could render a man insane from fear. An odd vacation destination, though you've successfully intrigued me. The treasures that await must be positively gleaming.
Yeah, I know. I couldn't imagine someone better equipped to be by my side for this. Ready to head off then?
Off we go then. Let us set the future ablaze, Tran.
Chapter 30, Armageddon.
I must stay strong.
This is version 1.0b2. We're now going to show the bad ending. It is now hidden because the game maker decided it was be hard for him to incorporate future content if people could have the bad ending. So this pop-up did not appear in the current build. If you want the bad ending, this is what you pick. That's all you have to do. Wait, isn't this Rash? I'm disappointed in you, Tran. It's too late now. Zelos? What are you doing? 1,000 years of blood spilled, of gathered power is diffusing from this point. The power of the heart of Zanatus is now mine. You made that prophecy come true after all, Zelos. Or perhaps you rewrote it and made it true. Ironic that we both stand where we are now. I suppose you're right about that. I can't best you now, can I? Tran, I just need time. I need you to let me make things right. I'm going to sweep this world clean of the imbalances that create our suffering. But you're not going to leave this alone, are you? You know I can't. Not even for you. This is the realization of our dream. It could only end this way. In the end, you'll know. Goodbye, Zelos. Viridia, capital of the Holy Denari Empire.
Hey. What? Keep your voice down.
I know. Have you heard that the rebellion was already put down?
Of course it was. The god can read our minds.
That's just a myth. The Emperor's trying to hold on to his rule forever. Someday he'll get what's coming.
Are you crazy? Pipe down before you get us both killed.
You think you could succeed when the likes of General Lysander's army has failed? The Emperor has eliminated hunger and crime. You should be more thankful for your own sake. No, I can't do this. Nareem is gone, isn't she?
Jules, still resist. Don't do it. I couldn't bear to see a soul such as yours depart this world.
So the Emperor is using the temple to enforce his rule now?
There's only one kingdom for all humanity. You must abdicate your title as king, Jules.
Let us leave this place, brother, please. There is no use in fighting anymore.
You can tell the Emperor that I no longer call myself king. This role suits you, Sybil. All All the provinces report at least 99.5% compliance, Your Excellency. And the last of the upstarts have been dealt with. Your rule is utterly unchallenged.
What of the southern campaigns?
We have conquered Varna with minimal casualties, but we see scores of the enemy slain as far as the eye can see. Our victory was brutal enough to discourage any further resistance.
Tell the remaining legions that we are mobilizing against the eastern kingdoms. No longer will the Sayonari have to be the bulwark for the west. I want no mercy for the defeated.
At once, Your Excellency.
Tran, perhaps we will see each other again in the New Age. Barnabas Fitch, the former Master Sergeant of the Imperial Army. He retired to the comfort of his ranch in Melmon Country and was honored as a war hero by the new regime. Disillusioned by the ascension of Emperor Zelos, he nearly took up arms, but in a rare show of temperance decided to retire his sword for good. Barnabas and Sybil had grown close during the Nephilim War. However, Sybil's dedication to serving Zelos' empire has pulled them apart, though the mutual yearning has not faded.
Sybil burned the restless heart when Emperor Zelos did away with the Denari Temple's role in politics and made the Paladins an elite force under his direct command. Sybil rose to the task. After many impressive feats of bravery, she finally achieved the fame and respect she so desired. But to lose all of her relationships from the Nephilim army, as time passes, Sybil reconsiders if it was all worth it.
Raskuja, the Baraktor mercenary. After the death of Zanatus, he quickly returned to his homeland with a king's ransom in reward for his service to the Nephilim army. His fortunes would quickly turn for the worse when Emperor Zelos ordered the Baraktor conquered, and Raskuja perished in a hopeless battle to defend his homeland. Nerima Reza, leader of the Scions of Dargon. Fiercely loyal to an independent Sayuna and to the new king, Nerima and a group of loyalists joined General Lysander in opposition to Emperor Zelos. Nerima showed incredible bravery and skill in the final defense of the Sayonari Royal Palace. Finally falling to overwhelming numbers, Nerima cried out her final words, that the spirit of the Sayonari will never be quenched. Nerima's deeds impressed Zelos' army so much that she was celebrated as an honored opponent whose bravery and dedication should be every warrior's aspiration. Nerima and King Jules did not have the opportunity to marry as they desired. Adelia Hagen of the Sisterhood of Mercy and Diana's bonded. Though nearly broken by the loss of her bonded, Adelia returns to her duties with the temple, bound by her own sense of duty to maintain some kind of life for Alex.
Karl Jaromir XIII, Duke of the Duchy of Embor. He had committed his duchy and his life to the Nephilim army from its very inception all the way to the end. As the new emperor took up power, Lysander quickly sought support of Duke Jaromir. The Duke was reluctant until the emperor vowed to sweep the nobility clean and start anew, with all land being the personal property of the imperial throne. Jaromir immediately backed Lysander's rebellion and survived until the end, to be executed for treason. Antares Bergen, war hero of the Succession War. Having taken his own life, ending his rebellion, Antares gave way for Tran to become the new face of those opposed to tyranny. Emperor Zelos has ordered a monument to General Antares, not only for his service in the Succession War, but also being the spark that lit a fire in the people's hearts.
Beatrix Pendergast, adopted daughter of Edmund Pendergast. Though she sought the knowledge of Xanatus and unlocked many secrets for the Nephilim army, she was turned to stone by Zelos, and she will remain in the Divine Realm as a monument to the great battle that took place there.
Lysander Bradford, former general of the Imperial Army and chief advisor to the Nephilim army. Lysander would come to shape the aftermath of the Nephilim War more significantly than anyone else. He successfully changed sides twice already, and had achieved a third, gathering together everyone he could to oppose Emperor Zelos. Though many across the land supported his ideas, Lysander's rebellion army was far too weak to make an impact. In one stroke, Emperor Zelos spearheaded a massive assault on Lysander's headquarters, extinguishing the fires of rebellion quickly and brutally. Not a single living rebel was spared from execution, and history will long remember Lysander as a traitor.
Abigail Kasim Dargon, priestess of the Sisters of Mercy. As the Donari Temple's nature changed, Abigail left the Sisterhood of Mercy to live in Sayuna. During the Nephilim War, she discovers she has an affinity for dragons and they for her. She and her brother are well cared for after Jules' abdication, giving Abigail the freedom to study draconology further and develop her own personal brood.
Jules Kasim Dargon, former officer of the Imperial Army, heir to the Dargon royal dynasty, and former king of Sayuna. Emperor Zelos gave King Jules an opportunity to abdicate peacefully, but many among the Sayunari refused and joined Lysander's rebellion, even though Jules himself did not resist. Facing impossible odds, Jules abdicated his throne, effectively bringing an end, possibly forever, to the very idea of Sayuna as an independent nation with its own monarch. Though Zelos ensures that the legacy and culture of the Sayunari people will be fiercely protected, Jules still harbors immense resentment, struggling to find his role, describing his new life as a prison with bars made of gold and jewels. Jules' heart aches for his late love, Nerima, who was to become the matron of the House of Dargon and Queen of Sayuna. Casimir, former Prime Minister and then Emperor of Viridia. The scheming politician made many enemies, leading eventually to his demise. By the time of his death, his empire was in a state of total collapse, as the Nephilim army reigned supreme and even the Zanatus cultists had turned their backs on him. Now possibly residing in the deepest hell, history sees Casimir as one of its most hated figures.
Diana Ebengard, paladin and former leader of the Sisters of Justice, known forever as the Goddess of War. Her deeds during the Nephilim War have become the stuff of legends. Tales of her bravery in resisting and eventually defeating Casimir, and of her unstoppable battle prowess are told time and time again. The new tenets of the Donari Temple have been recodified to conform to Diana's conduct during her life, marking her impact on the world for generations to come. Those few who know the truth will forever lament Diana's disappearance after the battle with Zanatus.
Stefan Dunny, former spy for the Donari Temple, alongside Beatrix and Diana, was lost to a stone spell after the battle with Xanatos. During his life, it almost seemed inevitable that he and Diana would fall in love despite their profound personal differences. It is almost fitting that they are now stuck together for eternity.
Zelos, Emperor of all humanity. Though hated by many, he would eventually overcome all enemies and obstacles, and his reign would last for another 70 years. The world under Emperor Zelos saw the greatest golden age of humanity in recent memory, and a vast expansion of human influence. His empire would not long endure after his death, but he will forever be known as one of the most feared and respected leaders in history.
Year 1070, Divine Realm. A prophecy fulfilled, the world at peace. All debts settled, everything reset back to zero. You've really outdone yourself, Zelos. Was it worth the price? Thank you very much for watching Tran win Symphony of War. I hope you've enjoyed your time as I showed you the story of our Nephilim army. The next episode will cover games that share similar features to Symphony of War that you might also be interested in. If you felt that I earned it, please support the channel by leaving a like. Thank you again, and I'll see you in the next series.